Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Rustin with Access and Metal Nation, and we are here today with Mike and Pat of Red Sun Rising. How's everything in your world?
Awesome. Well, now.
After the long and enduring sound check?
Sound
band
check
practice
in history.
So you guys are doing a quick couple of shows, one here in Jerome tonight, Colorado tomorrow, is it, I think?
Yep.
The festival, and then what's on tap for you guys after those dates?
Nothing really. We have some dates in December, some holiday shows, but we just finished up the record, so we just been kind of hanging out, and we did these shows this weekend, just kind of keep us sane and keep us playing. But other than that, we've been relaxing after the record.
Well, I was thinking about it today when I was putting some questions together. This is 10 years since you and Ryan started this whole thing. Does it seem like a decade already?
No, I try not to think about it. But, yeah, Ryan's not even here tonight. This is going to be weird. This is the first time I think in those 10 years that I've performed without him as Red Sun Rising. I mean, I've done other things, but
yeah. So we're calling it Red Sans Ryan tonight.
Red Sans Ryan. I like that.
So he stayed home to catch up on his Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
No, just kidding, fans. I think he's got some family stuff going on, but only a couple shows. He's still with the band.
Right.
So you guys are doing slightly, I don't know, stripped down set tonight, a little bit more raw without the. Although you're on guitar there,
Yeah,
so you know.
I think it's kind of cool. It's like the Rage Against the Machine set. It's just like one guitar, one bass, drums.
in the chest a little bit.
It's gonna be kind of cool. We were rehearsing because Ryan was like, guys, I'm sorry I can't make this weekend, and we luckily had a little rehearsal. Like, we might as well run these songs, and we were kind of stoked about it. We're like, not that he's gone, but we're like, it's kind of cool. It's like kind of refreshing to hear the songs that way. So it'll be fun tonight.
You never said that again about me though. If I wasn't at the show, you guys would.
That'd be an acoustic show.
Acoustic, exactly. So, did you guys change out any of the songs that you would have played if he was here? Added something different, or?
We are trying a new song from the record.
I was going to ask that.
And we don't know how it's going to go. We'll find out. It's obviously sans Ryan's parts, but the good thing is it's a new song, so you're not even going to know it's missing.
Well, it's cool that you're doing it too, because a lot of times bands will not play anything until they've got the record out, or if it's within like a few weeks. So, but as you mentioned, you guys just wrapped the follow-up Polyester Zeal. You worked with Matt Hyde, I believe, who has produced everything from No Doubt to Slayer, Cypress Hill. What was that experience like, and what did he sort of bring to your sound?
Like the coolest thing about Matt is when we were kind of like interviewing producers, he was the one guy that like he didn't really want to change the band at all. There was a few producers that was kind of like, well, you got to do this if you want it to make it on radio. If you got to do this. And Matt was like, yeah, man, let's just get in there and like have fun, and let's make some cool sounds. And we're like, I like this guy.
Well, you guys have never really changed your style to fit on radio, and Polyester Zeal just blew up.
Yeah.
There's such a great melange of styles and stuff on there.
Thank you.
So. Oh, I forgot to ask too. I went and looked through like 20 interviews online before I headed out here. I can't find anywhere where anybody says your last name. How do you pronounce it?
Protich.
Protich. Okay, we were right. So
just like it sounds, Protich.
You could go a couple different ways with it.
I've heard them all. I've heard Protich, Protech.
So, what insight can you give us on the new album? I know it's a ways away yet before it's coming out, but what can you tell us now?
I hear you guys.
It's really fresh. I mean, from song to song, there's an even bigger variety than the first record, and we're obviously really stoked about it. But I think there's just a lot of variety in color, and a lot of things you won't really expect. But also, there's still the sort of ministry of the Red Sun Rising sound. There's heavier tracks, there's softer tracks, there's a lot of dynamic stuff. But this is the first time that these five guys, including myself, Mike and Ryan did the first album, the studio guys. So since we formed the band and toured for 2 years together, now here we are, and this album is like the product of us playing together and finding that, that connection as a lineup, and for the first time bringing, there's some other influences in there that weren't on the first album. There's three other guys that put their input in.
I think we became a band in the studio, even though this lineup's been playing for years now together. We didn't really become like a band, I don't think, until we had that studio experience and got to write together as, five musicians, so that was cool.
Yeah.
So did you do most of the writing in the studio, or did you have most of the songs sort of prepped before you went in, or?
Kind of writing along the way, and like you were saying, a lot of bands don't play songs before. We were playing songs before we even knew we were going to record a second record. We were just trying new stuff because
Test the waters.
we were touring so much. It was like we were getting bored.
With your own stuff?
So we started trying out new songs, and some of those records made the records, or some of those songs made the record, and some of them didn't. It's kind of funny.
Nice. So we were actually talking on the way over too about the Uninvited video that you guys did, and talking about how intriguing it is because you can look at it from so many different perspectives. Did you have one perspective in mind when you guys did it, or did you just sort of want it left open to interpretation?
The video.
Yeah, I think the vagueness of it, it can be interpreted in so many different ways, and the director and writer that wrote the scenes, Brad Gullowin, he's a good friend of ours. He's doing a documentary on this, but he just really had his own kind of vision, and then when we showed him the song, and we just kind of married the ideas, and it just kind of worked out so beautifully.
So now that you guys had all this time to work on the chemistry, get in the studio and sort of become a band together, growing and writing together, what was the most challenging aspect of making the new album?
I think that early on, getting into the rehearsal room, this at least from my perspective, is, when we first started writing together, we kind of had to find our place, especially for me as a drummer. You kind of have to find how much you can throw in there, when to play simple, when to lay back. Everybody kind of had to find their groove within the four of the members. So to me, that was the most difficult part. Once we got to the studio, I felt like it was all studio. It was magic. We were just in the zone, and everything just kind of came out naturally. But before then, there was a little bit of push and shove going on. Not in a bad way.
Yeah, I think we challenged each other, and everyone wanted their piece in the song. Obviously, they wanted to be heard, and I think we started to realize that if we just serve the song instead of ourselves as musicians, the song is going to be way better, and that's what happened. So.
That's a really hard thing to find in bands. Everybody wants their piece, like you said, but
Yeah.
nobody wants to give
Some
any
guys
ground
can't
and
turn
serve
it
the
off,
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, just for fun, you guys are getting ready to do Shiprock. And you guys have done Shiprock before,
Yeah.
haven't you? What's that experience like?
It's one big drunken fest.
It's vacation. It's like a vacation.
It is a vacation. It's literally a festival on a cruise ship. I mean, you can't, if you love music and seeing bands and going on a cruise ship, then it's perfect.
Get a lot of fan interaction in the off
Yeah.
time, and
I think the coolest thing is after Shiprocked. Shiprock's a blast, but they really do treat it like a community. And if you're in any town, there's almost always people from Shiprocked, and they let you know that they're there, which is so cool. So they continue to support you after the fact, which is cool.
nice. So I haven't whipped this one out in a long time. The old odd couple question: Oscar and Felix. Trust me, it would take me too long to get it out. So, tight confines on a tour, obviously. Which member of the band is the messiest, sort of the slob, so to speak, and which one's the fastidious one, always cleaning up and nagging everybody?
Well, the messiest for sure is, and I feel bad because he's not here.
You can't defend himself.
That's Brian, for sure. But I think he would agree. He's the messiest. Pat is probably the most meticulous about things.
For sure.
Dave is probably the one that would, man, clean that up, man. Come on, man, clean that up. He'd be the guy to do that. But and Rick's kind of like a ghost.
He's kind of in the middle. He's not messy. He's not clean. He's just along for the ride.
Sometimes you don't know he's there. Which is good and bad, I guess.
So while you guys were trying to get your sound dialed in and everything, I was sitting here setting my lineup for fantasy football because I'm just all sorts of dirty
Nice.
like that. What's the most nerdy thing about you guys?
Probably falls in my category too. I read a lot of books, like a Stephen King nerd. What else? What else can we think of here?
I'm trying to think.
That
Like,
we can admit.
I can never answer these things on like the spot. I would say, we do really weird stuff. Like we write really stupid country songs on the road, and we're always like thinking about like skits, like comedy skits. Like we've actually talked about it. Like we would love to just like write some comedy skits and stuff. Like super into that.
Stupid for fun.
It'd be funny.
That would actually be really cool. So I have to ask then, Stephen King fan, what did you think of the new It?
We just went to see it 2 nights ago, so we drove, like I told you, we drove 2 days, about 24 hours to get to Denver, so the second night in, my monitor guy and I, Kevin, it's like 11:30 at night, we're like, let's go do something cool, and let's go see It, 'cause I didn't see it on the release date, so we had a little late night movie session, but I loved it. I mean, I'm always a sucker for the original. It's always hard to remake something, and there's things that you miss about it, but I think they delivered the movie, and I'll definitely go see the second, the sequel,
Nice.
and that whenever that comes out.
You guys binge watch a lot of stuff when you've got your downtime or you're on tour on a bus or whatnot, or you
Since
guys more?
Unlimited Data came out for my cell phone plan,
Yeah,
that's been a new thing the last
I think
year.
you and Rick was probably number one.
Yeah.
He's always in his bunk watching something. I just kind of got hip to it. I'm not like a TV or movie person. I can't. My mind's always going like so crazy that it's hard for me to just sit down and watch something. But on the road, you have so much downtime, and it does pass the time. So I started getting into some stuff. But the Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Classic.
love that show.
All right, so last question before we take off. We talked a little bit about the new album. You just finished it up, so I'm not sure. Do you have any sort of type of idea of what the first single might be and when it'll come out, or when the album release date might be, or is it still way too soon for that?
It's a little soon. It's right now. It's like phase 2 of the mixes. So as soon as we get the final mixes, everyone will weigh in. And by everyone, I mean everyone in our, in our close team. Like it's the band, and then management, and then our A&R guy, and that's what we love about Razor and Tie too. Is they let the band be very involved. It's not like, hey, this is the single and this is the single. It's like we're all in it as a team. And so once we have all the mixes and everyone's happy with the mixes, then we'll all listen down and be like, okay, this is where to go. But the cool thing is, on Polyester Zeal, we did just all radio singles. I think there's going to be some cool like fan track releases and instant gratification releases outside of the radio singles. So we're excited about that.
Excellent. Pat, Mike, Red Sun Rising here in Jerome, Idaho tonight, Colorado tomorrow. The new album, hopefully sometime, if not late this year, early next year. And thanks for taking some time to chat with us.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it, dude.